Well, welcome back to the show. Excited to have this guy with us. He knows a little bit about baseball and postseason action. Jared Gates. Jared, I do have to tell you really fast that during the postseason, we had a nickname for you in the press box, and it was Clutch. Always clutch. Always had the clutch play, the clutch hit. So excited to pick your brain about this baseball team. And one of the biggest things that people are talking about right now is, can Arkansas turn it around? Not the greatest end to the year. You know what baseball is like and what it takes to kind of turn things around and get some momentum. So how does this team do that?
I think turning it around is just honestly a silly question. No offense to you, but
Yeah.
I mean, season's over. It's a whole new season, no matter what. The last few years, you've seen it. We've won every series. We've lost every road series. I mean, we've done it all, and then it doesn't really matter. It's a clean slate. It's a new season. So the page has already been turned, to answer your question.
Yeah.
Once you lose game 2 in the SEC tournament, the page has been turned.
Yeah.
So they're not going to do anything different. Van Horn teams, I mean, they stay the same the whole season. They're built for the postseason. Not how you want to end, definitely. I'm not going to say that. But the page has been turned. It's just, I mean, now it's time to go.
Yeah, so that's the good news, though. The good news is these guys know that mentality, and what we're saying is completely irrelevant. You talk about a Dave Van Horn coach team. What does that mean in the postseason?
It just starts from day one in the summer, really. The players change, the standard doesn't change. So the regular season, and for Van Horn, just ultimately practice. And, you know, not saying he doesn't want to win the West or the SEC or the tournament just as bad as the next guy, but his focus from day one is just, it's almost, I hate saying Omaha or bust, but like that's where the focus is all year long.
Right.
So honestly, everything before that, it's like, you know, you see pitchers in different spots and weird spots, and we might lose games because of that. But, I mean, Dave Van Horn is collecting info on every single player, and he knows what buttons to press because of that.
Yeah.
So, as fans, as sometimes on the outside looking in, it's like we don't understand. But one thing remains constant throughout the year since I've been a Hog fan, that the team is ready to go when it matters most. You know, whether you win or lose, the page is turned.
Yeah, I love that you talk about, you know, when fans watch and what they see. I am sure that you watch these games through a little bit of a different lens, though, and you kind of understand the struggles and the ups and downs that this baseball team has gone through.
Sure. And the margin of error in the SEC is, I compare it to the NFL almost, where, you know, you don't really see a whole lot of blowouts in the NFL, and teams are 0-16 and teams are 13-3, and it's still going to be a touchdown game. So the SEC is very similar in terms of, yeah, there's bottom teams and there's top teams, but you can get blown out by anybody. We saw that at Alabama, you know,
Yeah.
and it's just one of those deals where the margin of error is so good and everyone's so good that you lose a couple one-run games against A&M, and now you're a bad team all of a sudden, you know. So the margin of error is so small, and I don't know where I was going with that.
No, as I say, well, things turn so quickly, right? Like you went from being a national seed to hosting a regional to now you're a 2 seed in Stillwater. So to your point, that margin of error flipped pretty quickly for the Razorbacks. But again, the page has been turned. What are the keys to victory, not just against each opponent for this baseball team, but what this baseball team has to do to be successful on their own?
I think they just keep leaning on their pitching. Their pitching has been so dominant all year long. Like, I think it was like second, I did some research, it's like second in the SEC in team ERA, you know, second in strikeouts. Like, that's going to travel anywhere, you know, to Stillwater, to wherever we got to go, Chapel Hill, or hopefully it's back in Fayetteville, you know. So the pitching staff is going to travel, and we're going to lean on a good start from Connor Nolan on Friday night, and hopefully hand it off to Evan Taylor and Brady Target, and then move on to Saturday. You know, that's been the story all year long. That's what they're going to have to lean on. And I think, you know, you're going to see more from the bats. I mean, you're just going to see more from the bats, because I think this time off is just going to be really the best thing for them. So, but pitching is going to travel. They're going to have to lean on that, and you know, it's a strong leg to lean on for them. Yeah,
we're excited to see it get started in Stillwater on Friday. Last question for you: favorite postseason memory?
That's a tough question. I'm going to go with
Put you on the
team.
spot.
Definitely. I mean, beating South Carolina by 10 to go to the World Series is just unforgettable.
Yeah.
But personal one for
Yeah.
me, I got two. I mean, the home run I hit in the Missouri State Regional, and then really just hitting a home run in Omaha was just super cool to me. It really didn't mean anything, but I don't know. That's a cool postseason memory.
Yeah,
it was a solo shot to make us 3-0.
There you go.
That's cool too, but really just going to Omaha and secure really just putting it to South Carolina in a game 3. Kind of that's cool.
I still remember Carson Shaddy's excitement standing on second base.
I won't forget.
That was a fun game to watch.
400-foot home run he hit, and I was like, oh, here we go. This is going to be fun. Because you're just so nervous. One pitch, one error, season's over with. But yeah, that was a fun day.
Not that day at all. Well, we hope we're still talking some postseason baseball with you next week, Jared.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Thanks so much for joining us and throwing down some baseball knowledge for us.
Thanks for having me.
Our special will continue after the break.